Hi, my name is Peter Blanton and I'm doing my EDL856 case study on parent apathy. This case study is tied to ISLIC standard number 4. A school administrator is an educational leader who promotes the success of all students by collaborating with families and community members, responding to diverse community interests and needs, and mobilizing community resources. I was unsure of the definition of apathy, so I looked it up, and Webster says it's a lack of feeling or emotion, or the lack of interest or concern. Category number 1 is problem identification and analysis. This is what I know. Mrs. Rose just completed her master's in educational administration, so she's new to starting a new principal job. She knows the importance of having a comprehensive program with parental and community involvement. Second thing I know is she is dismayed by the lead principal's comments about the parents not wanting any part of being involved with the school. Third thing I know is she has brought up the need for some type of parent involvement and a meeting has been scheduled. And the last thing I know is at that meeting only 8 parents showed up, so the lead principal was hesitant to continue with the meeting with lack of involvement from the parents that didn't come. Category number 1, what I need to know in problem identification analysis is, number 1, were there any events that led up to the very little parental involvement? And and was that current principal tied to those events? It'd be very interesting to find out by doing some research on how the incidents have happened that has led to the parents not being involved with the education of their students. And if it's tied to the current principal, what can we do to go back and fix those mistakes that have been made? Second thing I need to know is, when was the last time a parent organization was present, and are any of those parents around to ask questions to? Now, if it was a long time ago, there wouldn't be any parents to ask questions to, but if it was recent, there would be some parents that could, give a voice of opinion on why the organization disbanded or the advisory council, got disappeared. Third thing I need to know is, was the method of communication to inform the parents about the meeting sufficient? Was one note sent home with the student to go to the parent, was that good enough to get all the parents that would like to be involved? And how many parents actually got that note to begin with? And the last thing that I would like to know is, of the parents that came to the meeting, were any of them strong community leaders? It's going to be very important, if these are strong community leaders, that you are definitely not leaving the meeting with them present and saying, well, there's not enough people here, that's why we're not having this meeting. Because those people, being strong community members and leaders, they're going to go back and tell everybody they know. And it's just going to make it that much harder to start any kind of committee or advisory council or parent organization. So basically what the problem I think we have in this case study is Mrs. Rose has came in a situation where the parents are not involved in the school as they should be. She wants to get the parents involved, but the lead principal thinks that the parents are better off left alone. Category number 2, my proposed plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. Number 1, I want to inform the parents that came to the meeting the expectations the school has for them and schedule the next meeting date. I want them to leave the meeting knowing that this is something that's going to start and we want parents to be involved. Second thing I would do is broaden the methods of communication to the parents and community about such meetings. One note is not good enough. There needs to be something in the newspaper, there needs to be something on the school website, there needs to be something in social media. There's various other forms that you could use to get the word out. Text messaging is also another form. Third thing that I would do is develop a system that allows parents and community members to get feedback when unable to attend meetings. The easy way of doing this would be setting up something like a Facebook page for the school or the school website, where you could have a question and answer area where you could state a topic and then parents could leave their responses to the topic. And the last thing that I would use is encourage the other school staff to attend the meetings so the parents and community know the school is serious about getting involved in the education of their students. Category number 3, resolving the issues based on promoting the success of all students. Number 1, holding the meeting with 8 parents that showed up will build a future, more effective communication channel. You can't start off an organization on the wrong foot. And if 8 people show up, you got to talk to those 8 people. You can't say, well, not enough people showed up, we're going to wait until we have more people, because that's not going to happen. Those people that did show up need to have something they can go back with to tell other people why they need to come. Number 2, Various methods of announcing meetings will better allow for parents to attend. Like I said before, social media, newspaper, TV, radio, all those different ways of announcing meetings would be much more productive in actually getting the parents to come. Number 3, feedback from the parents needs to be present from attendees and non-attendees. There's going to be many times where parents aren't going to be able to attend the meetings, and you still need to know what they're thinking. So there has to be something done, like even surveys could be sent out, and parents' newsletters could be sent out, so that way people could get responses back to the school of what they want to change. And last, parents need to see that the school is supportive of them getting involved. If you have no teachers going to the parent-teacher organization meetings, and it's only parents, then you're missing one side of it. So you've got to have people within the school that are getting involved with it too. Category number 4 is debriefing the problem by reflecting on what you were thinking, feeling, and valuing. First thing that I was thinking about was, what's the hang up with the lead principal on starting a parent advisory group? Is it that he's had some bad relations with some parents and that's why? Or is it he's never been in a situation where parents were heavily involved and he doesn't know how to act and how to get them involved? The second thing that I was thinking about was, does the school not understand the value of parental support? You need to have parents involved in the school, and because that's what will get their students more involved in the school. If the student knows the parent doesn't care, then why is the student going to care? Number 3, how much time will it take to build the rapport with parents that is needed for their support? There's been a wall put up between the school and the parents in this case. We need to tear down that wall, and we need to find out how to do it. And it's going to take time, but it's not going to happen something overnight. So the parents need to know how much the school is supporting this decision of starting this group. And last thing, what issues from the past have led to where the school and the parents are now when it comes to communication? The lines of communication are pretty weak in this case study between parents and the school, and that needs to be broke down. Category number 4, what are the issues that are left unresolved and open to further investigation? Number 1 is, will the lead principal change his view on parent involvement, or will Mrs. Rose have to take the lead to assure a better chance of success? If he's not willing to put the effort into getting the parents more involved, it'd be better for Mrs. Rose to step up and take that on herself, because she's the one with that's just straight out of school, would probably have the most recent information that's available to how these things are getting started. And the second thing is, can the wounds heal from all the damage that's been done? And the lead principal thinks that no damage is done. He thinks there's nothing wrong. And and you can't really assume either way if there has been damage wrong, but most likely that the parents are just feeling like they're getting neglected in this situation. They're not making a big deal of it. They're just choosing not to say anything about it. But something needs to be done so that way they are getting involved. Number 3, are the parents open to involvement, or do they really not care? Like I just said, we can go one way or another if they care or not. We don't really know. But I would assume they would care, because parents want what's best for their kids, and just sending them to school hoping that they're getting what they're supposed to be getting is not a way of being involved. Number 4, what do the students think about this issue? Do the students know how their parents feel? Do they know how the school feels? Do they know that the communication is not open between them two? Because once the students figure out that the parents and the school are not getting involved with each other, what kind of results is the school going to get from the students that are in the classrooms? Category number 5, component 1. I will collaborate with families and community members to contribute to the school's success. Number 1, I'll take the time to communicate effectively with the 8 parents that show up at the meeting. That's the strongest point of this case study, is taking the time. You've already got a meeting started. You might as well go ahead and get your voice out of what needs to happen to get parent involvement going, and ask them questions of what they would like to see. Number 2, I'll develop a better system of getting the word out about meetings. I'm using newspaper, radio, like I said before, text messaging, email. Any of those methods would be appropriate. Number 3, I'll set up a social media site where parents can give feedback. Just like in this class we're taking right now, you could have a Google Google Circles, you could have a Facebook page. There's multiple ways of social media can be used to help communicate with parents, and that way they can provide feedback that you need. And number 4, I would encourage the school staff to become more active in forming this group, because the parents need to see the school is willing to put forth effort too. Component number 2, I'll respond to diverse needs and interests of the community on an ongoing basis. Number 1, I'll provide a meeting time when the majority of parents can attend. It won't do any good to have a meeting that's during the day when most people are at work. It needs to be an appropriate time where most people can attend. I'll use social media to provide parents an avenue to communicate with the school at any time. Anytime they have a concern, they can type in what their concern is. You can look at those concerns daily and address those as they come through, and that way the parents feel like they're involved as well. Number 3, send out meeting notices by text messages. I think that this is a great way, especially as many people have cell phones nowadays. If you have the access to parents' text messages, it's going to be very beneficial to respond to the community that may need this method to respond to because they have no other method. Number 4, I want to meet with teachers to address the need for them to be positive and encouraging. They need to know it starts with them, and parents aren't going to get involved unless they feel like they're part of the equation. Component number 3, I'll mobilize community resources to address and help solve problems in a way that supports the school. I'll do this by using the local newspaper to announce meetings and submit the meeting notes too. That way, the people that don't attend, this is also an avenue where they can see what's going on at the meetings because they can read the minutes. Number 2, I'll make sure parents know that this group is for them and to become more actively involved in their child's education. Number 3, I'll help the group to set officers and goals that they would like to see happen. And number 4, I'll encourage the participating parents to become active at trying to involve other parents into this group.